Good morning and welcome to another 10 minutes at 10. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about digital products and whether or not we should use them and how we can make money from them. So have you got a digital product? Should you have a digital product? Do you even know what a digital product is? Well, I'm guessing most people in here probably do, but just in case you're not sure, Harry has a list of everything that we think is a digital product.
Yeah, so first things first, we need to think about, say, three biggest problems or recurring questions which we get in business. And actually, these are the items which we could
That's not a
potentially,
digital product.
well, it's what we could potentially put into
But
making
what's
a
a
digital
digital
product.
product?
But what is a digital product? Okay, I'll start back from the start.
Go
So,
back to the beginning.
digital product
Rewind.
is basically an itemized item which someone could go on your website and they could purchase it online. So that's a digital product, nice, quick, simple, and preferably quick and easy for the client to buy. If they're easier for them to buy, they're more likely to sell.
So is it a bought or a downloadable? So what we're meaning really is downloadable checklists, aren't we?
Yeah,
PDFs and
ebooks,
ebooks, that kind of
downloadable,
stuff.
how-to guides, checklists,
So
and
actual sort of digital things that you can
tangible.
download. So something that you can produce for many people, but only sell once, or you produce it once and you sell it many times over to multiple clients.
We do like the one-to-many, and they're really scalable. So that's one of the benefits of digital products. Obviously, one item, sell it 100 times, you get quite a lot of income from it. And it's passive in most cases. So definitely one to consider. And actually, it's one of the big items which a lot of businesses are trying to get into. Everyone wants a nice digital product available for their clients.
Yeah, so Carl's just said like common wiring issues and how to solve them with an electrician's visit. Absolutely.
That would definitely be a digital
So
product.
yeah, it's a kind of thing. So in your industry, Carl, you can look at 10 things that you should be looking at in your house, and then pictures of loose wiring or pictures of things that need an electrician. Or do you or don't you call an electrician in those instances? So things like if you're into yoga and meditation and things like that, 7 ways to calm your mind or to help you sleep at night. Yeah, yeah. Without well, I don't know. I think I would say common wiring issues and when you need an electrician. So think about the upsell. And there's an element where you want to give value and add value to them, but you also don't want them electrocuting themselves. So at what point do they start doing picking up the phone and calling an electrician? So maybe you could have 3 things where you can. You don't need an electrician to come out, and there's 7 things where you do need an electrician to come out, and what's the difference between the two? So that might be a really good idea. And then have that digital download, whether it's an ebook or whether it's a PDF or whether it's a checklist. Yours is going to have to be quite visual, so it could even be a video. So it could be you put in a video on your website where you give them access to a free video where they can look at different examples of what these wiring issues might be, and then your number at the end to call you.
There's always got to be the upsell at the end. I mean, like, if you're giving them value, to be fair, you'll be giving them valuable information anyway. So by then, at the end of the video, the upsell should, in theory, just flow nicely, and you've got essentially a warm lead at the end. So it's a really good concept, and if executed well, it's very effective. So it's definitely one that.
Yeah. So you started talking about what information could you productize and what information can you sell, and that's where you start thinking about the 3 biggest problems or the recurring issues, the types of things that your customers might come to you. So think about the things that they might Google that might lead them to your website in the first place. So for us it might be, what items can I expense, or how do I do month-end management accounts, or how can I save tax in my business. All of those are free downloadable products or small sort of £5 or £10 products on our website that people can download. So we don't actively promote them, but people find them because of the keywords and the title that hopefully is picked up when somebody types that question into Google.
Now, most businesses have some form of question which is asked on a regular basis and something they can digitalize. But it's one of those things that I don't know. Some people just think they can't implement it or they can't think of an idea to implement, but there is always an option. Sorry about
That's
the
the fly.
fly. We were trying to get rid of that earlier. It didn't work.
Well, we thought we got it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then it went quiet, and we thought, yeah, it's gone out the window, but clearly it hasn't. So it's a real big one as well. So I'm just waiting for it to come and nose bomb.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So creating a digital product can be a bit tricky. Or it can be simple. You can create them in Canva, which is an online design tool. You can create them in Word and then convert them to PDF. You could write videos and create videos on your phone and host them on a hidden part of your website that people don't have access to unless they've given you their email address. Or you could simply attach them to emails that people receive once they've given you their name and address. So you don't have to overcomplicate the delivery of your free product. You could have them downloadable directly from your website, but so long as they've given you their email address first, then that's fine. Now, there's no profit initially in just taking that email address. So what that does do is that gets them on your list. So what can you then do to create a second digital product so that you've given them the fabulous freebie in exchange for their email address, and then you upsell them to, say, a video masterclass or a bigger how-to guide on how to do something. So your first part of your Fab freebie might be what are the problems and how to identify them. The second part of your Fab freebie might be, say, a masterclass for maybe an hour's webinar for $29.99 on how to resolve one or two or three of those problems. So that gives them the value and that shows them how to fix it. But again, you've created that problem, or you've created that webinar once, but then you can sell it to many people over again. So it creates a passive income in your business for those one or two questions that you need to answer. So a hot topic that we're getting at the moment is, I'm starting out in business, what do I need to think about? So Harry and I are thinking about putting together a Fab freebie of the 10 things that you need to think about when you start off in business, and then a masterclass that goes into those in a lot more detail on how to do it, what you need to think about, the different products or tools or systems that you could use, and why you would use those particular ones to help you run your business. So it might include like a 2-minute receipt bank demo, a 2-minute zero demo, anything that we can do to then add that value. Because at the moment what happens is that potential customer isn't really on your radar as a customer yet, but they could be looking on the internet for solutions to those problems. They could be Googling them and coming up with, there's multiple sources, aren't there, on Google, on YouTube, and they're all in different places and they often give conflicted information. But once you find one person or one source that you like, or 2 or 3 sources that you like, you often tag those and you follow or you subscribe to those particular resources, and then you take all of their information and you tend to take their advice. So it could be that if they're doing, marketing or social media, so that's what Kim's area, that they'll then start to do things your way because they're following your advice online. Well, later on, if they then become a client because they've followed you and they've downloaded your Fab freebie and they might have worked through your workshop, they're starting to do things your way. They're used to the way that you're talking. They're used to the way that you start teaching, and they're used to doing things your way. So then when they come to you as a potential client later on, it's much easier to upsell a one-to-one service because you're already credible and they're starting to do things your way anyway.
That's one of the main benefits of the freebie, is breaking that barrier of they
I
don't
think
know
so.
you initially. And if they are literally a cold lead, someone just searching something on the internet and you pop up, they don't know you, so they're not necessarily going to buy a product straight away, but they might consider testing a freebie. And then that's when you get the upsell. That's when you push them into, say, a bigger product, and that's when you get a bit more of a warm lead. So it's just profit all round, really.
It is, if you've got that one thing. Now, what we have seen sometimes is people spend an awful lot of time and effort creating a huge, overly deliverable, time-consuming, much bigger product than is really necessary. So think about this as being your minimum viable product. It's the least you can do to prove that you are who you say you are. So your Fab freebie might be something that somebody can work through in 5 or 10 minutes. You want a little bit of action, a little bit of effort, but you need to be able to deliver something in a very short space of time, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just, at the weekend or late last week, I was looking at the latest Amy Porterfield one where she's given a fab freebie away. I think it's on websites and lead magnets and how to embed them in your website. So she gave an example or 20 examples of how other people have used lead magnets in their websites and the different words they use, different terminology they use. Some have used bigger plugins, some have used smaller plugins. So she's linked to the plugin and she's just given basic ideas on why these particular strategies work and how they might work for other people. Now, her document is probably about 20 pages long, which is, a long lead magnet, but it's actually, because it's very visual, you're drawn to it and you want to know what's coming next. So you've got to think about not overbearing and delivering too much for your client, but enough that they can get the value out of it and they want more. You need to leave them hungry for more so that they want to come back and they want to spend that next money with you buying your next upsell.
Think of it like a starter.
Yeah.
Make it so enticing they can't turn it down.
Yeah, got to have a starter and then they need to come in for mains and then you're the dessert.
Yeah, and they're really hungry and they quickly scoff it up. That's kind of the approach you go for.
Yeah.
They've got time constraints. They like quick. They like it efficient. And they actually like to know sometimes how long it takes. Because if you look at something and you find it's going to take 30 hours, you won't want to do it. If you see it takes 10 minutes, it's hardly anything.
Exactly. And then I think your masterclass needs to be something they can do within an hour or maybe a couple of hours, something that's a little more specific. A good one I saw recently was on how to use Trello. So I didn't actually buy the lead magnet or buy the upsell, but what they were looking at, it's like a 1 hour webinar on how to use Trello. But that particular one was Trello pre-Butler, pre some of its new tools. So it's probably not relevant for us now. So what I was looking for over the weekend is one that is a really good example of how to use Trello. Couldn't find one, so I just figured it out on my own. That actually tells me that we need to do one on how to run your business finances and use Trello as a tool, because there are so many things that Trello can do, for example, that will help people run their business. And a common question that we get is also geared around, how to deal with financial overwhelm and how to remember how to do the right things in the right order. And, Trello or a to-do list is a good idea on how to use those. So think about the kind of problems that your customer is having. Think about how you can answer them in 10 or 15 minutes to get a quick win, and an hour, say with a masterclass or a bigger downloadable ebook, to deliver a more substantial gain, a more significant solution that they can implement themselves. Now, if you have a digital product, then let us know in the links. Just add a link to it here so we can see it. In fact, I might even start a new put a post up for digital downloads. So if you've got a digital download, share it so that we can show each other what we've got and how we use them. So that's it from us for today. So it's goodbye from me. And if you like the video, please let us know, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.
So, bye.